Hello Libra friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Libra August 2022 Astrology Must Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com. That's the interface for all the free goodies I make for you each month. And I have an exciting new launch to mention to you based on your feedback to me. You have been asking for more content from me and in a subscription format where you could get exclusive content of all kinds of goodies about your natal chart, how to work with that, and the current astrology and the upcoming astrology. So if you want more from me, then go to anniebastrology.com. That link will also be in the notes underneath the video or podcast and see what is in store for you there. This is for you if Libra is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Libra placement that you have. This will be part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Libra, so we'll say October 13th through the rest of the sign or 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I recommend additionally that you listen to my Scorpio report. So both the Libra and Scorpio reports for you late degree friends will have relevance for you. So let's talk about August. What is going on? What are our must knows? We'll just take it piece by piece as we always do. The first big must know is that we are in the last month of a breather between the eclipse seasons, but because the North Node is going to be activated by the planet Uranus and the North Node is connected to the ecliptic with the Taurus-Scorpio polarity, we are going to have some information, some storylines, some things come up of relevance related to the eclipses. Or eclipse storylines in August, but it is still a little bit different than the general kind of heaviness of the eclipse season, which we still have a break from until September. The next big must know is that we are in the last open period of personal planets being direct for the whole year. So June 19th through August 21st is the last period of time for the whole of 2022 and even the first few months of 2023 that we have without a Mercury, Venus, or Mars retrograde. And when we do have those retrogrades, as we will have a flow of Mercury and Mars retrograde energy starting from September into March of 2023, that is inward, backward, going back over old things, not having the best launch time because the tides are coming in. So that means that in August, we have to take full advantage of the fact that the tides are still going out, and they are going out the most strongest through the 21st, okay? So what are the kinds of things that you want to do when the tides are going out? Just kind of imagine it. Is there anything that you would like to have unencumbered going out as far and wide as possible? Imagine a boat with the tides coming in and you're paddling against the tide. If you're trying to do something big and get it out very far and wide and you're doing it when the tides are coming in, so September onward, you're going to be paddling against it and the tides, and you're never going to get it out as far as you want to get it or for as long as you want it to be out. So those kind of things, long-term things, big moves, big decisions, big investment decisions, agreements, contracts, big purchases, engagements, weddings, trips that require more clarity and planning, because the retrogrades do tend to also bring in uncertainty with plans and cast everything sure into uncertainty. So, we've got the most openness, clarity, forward movement, oomph, ambition, drive that we're going to have for a while in August, and that will start to wane as the month goes on, especially towards the end. And so make the most of it, okay? So we're not going to get an open window like this until spring of 2023 or fall for you all down under. So the next big must know has to do with having Leo planet still. So this started in July, and this is a very great blessing for Libras because this is in a beautiful angle for you. So it's highlighting your friendships, your social circles, your, tribe, feeling like you belong somewhere, people that speak your language, not necessarily the language of your country origin, but just your language in life, like, your perceptions on things. So there's a very good chance for you to bond with people that make sense to you. And there's also a lot of chance for support, for networking, for meeting important key people, and just overall having a very good time because the Leo planets are super fun. They're highly creative. They give us this childlike wonder and ramp up our creative faculties. So you might be doing some fun things with kids, or you might feel like a kid yourself again by being happy from doing something super fun. So all of that is going. So I love that. It's in a beautiful angle for you, and that is very exciting. So if someone wants to introduce you to someone, a romantic interest or a business or other interest, this could be an amazing time for new love or for new work or for new projects. So you might want to say yes if you're kind of feeling intuitively like, oh, maybe there's something there for you and someone wants to connect you. Networking is going to be a very big part of this month, virtual and in person. This also might be a time when something on your bucket list gets to happen, something you've always been wanting to do. And this is really a beautiful time to plan trips, especially through the 21st. There's a lot more clarity compared to the retrograde energies. So you might want to take advantage of that as well. Then as the planets move into Virgo, this is a very different feel. Okay, so as the month progresses, you might find that you're thinking more, you're, getting more methodical, you're strategizing, and it can also lead to kind of a little bit of overwhelm from the perspective of thinking too much. Okay, so these Leo energies are kind of about doing, doing, being, expressing. And then as the energies move into Virgo, for you, that's flooding the 12th house, which is like feeling and thinking and, sometimes tilting to the past, sometimes worrying about the future. So you might find some patterns that have not been functional for you coming up that you have to address. But fortunately, the Virgo placements can give you good discipline to try to master your mind. Mastering the human mind may be something we never fully get to, but the pursuit of mastering the mind is something that can be very, very beneficial for us because our mind is like an unruly tiger, and you can't necessarily tame a tiger, but you can direct a tiger and protect from a tiger. And this is the kind of thing that is going on now, where you get to use your mind in ways that can be very beneficial for you. So for instance, one simple trick that I like to implement, if you have a problem and you're obsessing about it, you can stop yourself and you can offer it up to whoever you pray to. I realize I'm worrying about this. I'm going to, there's actually a really cool affirmation from this woman. Her name is Florence Scovel Shin. She's very magical. She was alive, a long time ago. And she translated Jesus's word as, through perceptual spiritual tools. So she would say, I cast the burden on the Christ within and I go free. And it's like this energy of casting the burden of something onto a higher power, onto, whatever your belief systems are. There's something about that that could be very beneficial for you now. Something else that can be helpful for you at this time is just asking your subconscious mind. If you get into the habit of, and I like to do this before I go to sleep too, because, in that period of time when you're falling asleep and that period of time when you're waking up, there's that tween state where it's very, very magical and full of potential for you to communicate with your higher self and with spirit. So if you have a problem or something is bothering you, or there's an addiction, or there's, something, healing that needs to happen, if you ask your subconscious mind to give you insights, you might dream about something, you might wake up with an idea, and the more you do this, the more you can, first of all, stop obsessing. Second of all, use your brain to help you instead of, spin you out. So those are some things that will be coming up and beautiful opportunities that you can take to master your mind and have more joy. The next big must know is that we've got a full moon in Aquarius, okay? And so this is very exciting because Libra is an air sign, Aquarius is an air sign. So when we have a full moon in a fellow air sign, that makes a trine for you, and that is very full of possibilities. So we've got, okay, so that is going to happen for you in the 5th house of Leo. So all of this fun, romantic, sizzling, childlike joy that is being expressed from the Leo planets is also going to get activated in the form of the full moon. So the full moon is going to be on August 11th, so the days before and after that are going to be especially supercharged with potentials in those arenas. And everyone will feel the yumminess from that, but those of you who are closer to 19 degrees, so we'll say 14 degrees through 24 degrees, and the closer to 19 degrees, the more you'll get a kiss from this full moon. So that equates to like October 4th through 14th, and the closer to like the 9th the more you get the goodie from the moon. But it still is full of possibilities for all of you. All right, so the next big must know is that we've got some really beautiful aspects this month. We do have more salty aspects compared to sweet ones, so you will notice that we have roadblocks to get through. Last month, I used the analogy of people, you seeing a goal that you're running towards happily and then people are throwing vegetables at you. It's kind of like that, but I'm kind of seeing it more like road bumps. As you're like cruising along and then you're like, oh, gotta slow down for the road bump. Oh, cruising along, gotta slow down for the road bump. So this month will be full of that, but there are at least 10 sweet connections this month. And I'm going to talk about 2 of them. But if you want a complete list of the sweet and salty aspects, what you can do with them, what the dates are, delivered into your inbox 1 month early, then go to anniehelpsyou.com and sign up for my free email newsletter, and you will get the lowdown on all that. But we will talk about a couple here. So the first exciting aspect, besides the full moon that we just talked about, I guess the second, would be on the days around August 18th, Venus in Leo is going to make a trine with Jupiter in Aries. So this is so exciting for fire signs, for air signs. This is going to bring possibly hopefully it would be for everyone, but it doesn't seem to work out that way. But the odds are increased for good news in love, romance, relationships, finances, money, self-esteem, anything, comfort, joy, any of those things. So we'll say like August 14th through the 22nd, and then the closer to 18 is more of a hot spot. Everyone in the zodiac can get the goodies from this, but it's also especially favoring people with fire and air placements like you have. And the closer you are to 8 degrees, the more you'll get a kiss from that with your Libra placement at least. So we'll say from 3 degrees through 13 degrees, the closer to 8 degrees, the more you get the kiss. And that's going to be like, like the 26th or so of September through like the 3rd of October. And the closer you are to the last, couple of days of September, the more the kiss comes. Okay, so the next sweet aspect to mention is in the days around August 24th. So we'll say August 20th through August 28th, and the closer to the 24th, the stronger the energies are. And this is Venus in Leo again, except with a trine to Chiron this time. So this can bring profound healing and breakthroughs and anything that you worked on in the past as far as healing your mental or emotional, spiritual, physical spaces or relationship spaces or financial psychology, anything like that could have a powerful breakthrough, or you could see fruits that come from past work or past breakthroughs that you had. And again, this is true for everyone in the zodiac, especially fire and air signs. And the closer to 15 degrees, the more you get that kiss. So we'll say 10 degrees through 20 degrees, the closer to 15 degrees. So that's going to be like October 1st through 10th, and the closer to around the 5th, the more you get the kiss. All right, so the last section is about Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde happens every 2 years, and this is, and I'll go into more about the timing and the shadow periods and cover the dates in a segment that we're about to get into. But first, we'll talk about the fact that Mars is going to be retrograde in a fellow air sign. So although there are always positive aspects and challenging aspects of most aspects, and that is true here with Mars retrograde as well, the fact that it's in a nice angle for you increases the odds that you'll get kisses and rewards and yumminess and things coming in on the tides for you. So remember that when the retrograde is happening, it's like you're on the beach and the tides are coming in. So that's not the time you want to push the boat out. That's the time you sit on the shore and you wait for the goodies to, the messages in the bottle, the bag of money that rolls up on the beach or whatever. You wait for the tide to bring you things. And so the odds are increased that it can bring you some really good things. And that is true for all Libra placements, but anyone from 8 degrees to 25 degrees. So most of you, okay, so that's going to be the last couple of days of September through like the 15th of October or so, you'll get the 3 kisses each, because Mars is going to go forward and kiss your placements, and it's going to retrograde and kiss your placements. It's going to go direct and kiss your placements again. So you can have any good news or help or support that comes, but some areas that are highlighted have to do with your communication, your transportation, your mobility, your devices, This can have to do with the ninth house, so education, immigration, learning languages, finding the perfect education program or making headway, teaching, international travel or business, spiritual or horizon broadening types of things. And all of that is really jazzed up for you for a very extended period of time. And let's talk about that timing now. And also I'm going to show you what types of things are best to do in August, or even through, July, August, that open period, June 19th through August, and what things are better in the retrograde, which will start in September, so you can align your actions. Okay, so I'm recording this for you to help you better understand the Mars retrograde energies, to look at the dates that this full cycle will be relevant for, and to talk about the types of activities we want to align when Mars is direct versus when Mars is retrograde, and give you timelines for that so that you have the notice now that you can try to align your actions with being in sync with Mars. That's what I try to focus on, is to help you align with the natural rhythms of the universe, because when we go with the rhythms, it's much easier and much more enjoyable than if we try to push against them. So the more you know about how the rhythms work, the more you can align naturally with them. Okay, so Mars retrograde. Mars goes retrograde every 2.2 or so years, just to give you a little context. If you think back to around 2 years and 2 months ago, we were in a Mars retrograde cycle. And you can actually look up a Mars retrograde calendar of the past online and look at the times when Mars was in retrograde, just for your research, to try to understand the types of energies that you experienced. And I always highly recommend writing in a journal the types of things that come up, especially as I'm helping you get educated on what Mars represents. If you pay attention to the kind of things that come up in Mars retrograde in general and for you personally, then you have your own private plan of how you're going to work with those energies, okay? So the pre-transit shadow period starts September 4th, okay? These shadow periods are very important to note, especially when we have planets that take longer. I mean, really, for any planet, the shadow period is relevant, but the longer the planet takes to do its, full orbit, the longer that pre and post shadow transit are going to be. So in these shadow periods, you start seeing a building of the types of retrograde things that we see, and the energies get stronger and stronger from the beginning of the shadow period, which is September 4th, through October 30th, which is when the actual retrograde is. But if you try to play the game, should I hurry up and do my launch or my big important thing, October 17th, because it's not quite retrograde, you're playing a dangerous game, because, you're in the shadow period, and the more you tune in, the more you'll see how these energies are present even before the actual retrograde occurs. So we're talking about September 4th through October 30th, a building of the retrograde energies, October 30th through January 18th, 2023 for the actual retrograde, and then a starting to lighten with every day we get past January 18th and move towards March 15th of 2023. Those energies are lightening every day. So, if you have to do something and it's not quite March 15th, at least the energies are much stronger and better than, let's say, if you tried to do something, with a Mars direct type of energy, right after the retrograde ended. So we're talking about Mars going retrograde from 25 degrees of Gemini back to 8 degrees of Gemini. Okay, so now let's talk about, just focus on, well, I guess we'll just leave it there. That's fine. Okay, so through September 3rd, so that means all of August, okay, which is the month right before the energies really start to brew for retrograde, we're really focusing on this new forward movement, tide going out, Anything that you want to go longer term, any major launch that you want to have a good, nice birth date. Remember, anytime you do something major, it's a birth date for that activity, and it will carry all the energies of that time. Anything that requires all the things that Mars rules, oomph, get up and go, initiation, energy levels, ambition, initiative, follow through, any of these things. If you have a project that's going to require that type of energy, yours or other people, like you need other people to show up or to collaborate with on a project, you're not the only one that's going to be feeling the retrograde energies. They also will be. So if you're trying to initiate a project that needs other people to show up with their energy and ambition and follow through, then August, up until August, or really, June 19th through all of August is like this really nice open period for all of the personal planet retrogrades. But as far as Mars is going here, anything up until through the end of August and the first couple of days of September, you're going to have a lot more energy for these types of things. Now, the aspect of Mars ruling metal also comes into play. So if you have to purchase anything made of metal, cars, devices, machinery of any kind, major lawn mowing equipment, the direct time is a great time to get the best, focus on anything with metal. And this also has to do with surgeries. Now, please hear me. Just because I'm saying try to, know that there's more energy from the perspective of Mars transits supporting surgeries, whether they're voluntary or necessary, when you've got the direct time. If you're in the retrograde and you have to have a life-saving surgery, don't worry about it. You need that and you have to do it, so don't hesitate to do something that the doctor says will be curative or that you need to prevent a bigger problem. But just to kind of have a guideline. If you know you're going to need a surgery, you'll have better support for that from the Mars perspective, through August, basically. And the same thing with haircuts, scissors, right? So if you need a new stylist or a new style, you'll have extra oomph for that through August and the first couple of days of September, tattoos, things like that, anything with the metal. If you have to put some legal, instigate legal proceedings against someone, even if you feel like you were wronged, that still is, from the astrological standpoint, an act of aggression, which is ruled by Mars. And there's more oomph and support when Mars is direct if you have to initiate legal proceedings. Now, if you're just responding to something and it's out of your hands, you got to do whatever you got to do. But if you're the one initiating something, Mars direct has much more support there. Okay, so now when we go into Mars retrograde, and obviously I'll be talking about this more as we're actually in that time, but I just want to kind of give you a heads up so you're understanding the flow and you can kind of position your projects and your planning accordingly. So Mars retrogrades basically from September 4th through March 15th, September 4th, 2022 to March 15th, 2023, and especially strong October 30th through January 18th. We're talking about going back to old things or just work as usual, anything that you've been having to do, although you might be a little more lazy and you might be less ambitious, things as usual, editing, light, low stakes projects, even if you want to do something new, but you're not attached to the outcome. And, the biggest thing here is to not take on anything that requires a titanic commitment and follow through, because the odds are that you're going to get lazy or busy or unambitious. And so committing or over promising is a very big, warning here. But anything where you're just kind of working the backdrop, anything with reflections and self-development and therapy, individual, couple, family, is amazing. And along those lines, dealing with anger and resentment. A lot of times when people are chronically angry and resentful, even if you've done inner work, there could be something going on with your gallbladder and your liver. Now, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to diagnose anything. I'm just saying from the energetic standpoint, from doing thousands of live individual readings and doing horoscopes for a very long time and working with astrology medically for 20 years, I have seen when your liver and gallbladder are overburdened, a lot of times the way you are noticing that as a symptom is actually chronic anger and resentment. So if you've done inner work and you can't think of why you should be angry or resentful anymore, it's possible your gallbladder and liver need some work. And that those things may or may not show up on standard medical tests, okay? So you can do things to love your liver. Also, neurological things, Mars does additionally rule Aries, and also Mars is a co-ruler for Scorpio, so the sexual organs would be in here as well, or reproductive organs. All of those might have some things that are under the surface that need to be dealt with, either energetically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or physically. This energy of stepping out of a victim mentality is very important, because a lot of times people feel resentful because they feel like something is happening to them. So just kind of exploring this topic. The same thing with reckless behaviors. I don't know that reckless behaviors are really a great idea anytime overall, either through your voice, like saying something to someone, or your deeds. But it's especially, you have to be especially careful with your head and your physical body. Oops, sorry about that. And your physical body, in Mars retrograde, and old injuries might, or issues might come up to be dealt with. It's a fantastic time for rest and staycations and vacations, enjoying the fruits of past labor, clearing up unfinished business on any level, whether it's in your yard or whether it's in your relationship. All of these things are great for the retrograde. And I have even more resources. If you find my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, it's actually in all major booksellers on the shelves, or you can get it online or at independent bookstores. I have my no-go checklist of, how to make decisions in Mars retrograde and the questions to ask yourself, and plus a more detailed list of the direct versus retrograde energies. But I just wanted to give you a summary so that you can understand what kinds of things are good to do in August and before for your planning purposes, and what kind of things are good to table or sort of put in your planner for, the last months of the year, September through December, and a little bit into 2023. You can also search for Annie Botticelli Mars retrograde to find a video that I've made on the topic, another video, and also I have a blog on the topic of Mars retrograde, and I also have a blog on general retrograde advice. Okay, so if you're wanting to prepare or get more information, then you can use those resources as well. And of course, continue watching my monthly horoscopes, as I will guide you through the rest of this direct process, and then all of the time we're in retrograde. Okay, so I've given you lots to work with to help you make the most of the energies this month, and to help you understand the energetic patterns at work and play. And if you'd like more resources, I've got all of these here. You can additionally go to the little more button, the little arrow underneath the bottom right of the video. Click on that, and all of the links that I'm giving you here will be clickable, right? So if you're looking for reading options, including a beautiful, very detailed 45-minute audio of your birth chart for $33 from my brilliant husband, you can find that at anniebclarity.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. This is where you can access running a free birth chart. This is where you access my 28-day in-depth virtual coaching program called Shine for free. This is also where you'll find tons of blogs, and you get lots of other perks for being on my newsletter list. If you're looking for written horoscopes by me, always up a month early, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. If you haven't seen this site, go to it. It is so beautiful. We've got, me and my team have lots of amazing astrology-inspired blogs and healthy living blogs. We've got hypnosis for all the signs. We've got healing frequencies for all the signs. I've got the written horoscopes that I write. We have yoga for all the signs. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive site. If you're looking for free courses on how to manifest money and wellness, You can go to lumelife.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUMLIFE. You can also find my astrology education courses here, including my behemoth of a master course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can fully utilize even if you don't want to be a professional astrologer, but it certainly will get you up to the level where you could be and show you how to make your business a success. And payment plans are available there too. Now, I've also got 2 books out and more on the way. Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You will find this on the bookshelves in all major booksellers, including all the Books A Million, all the Barnes & Nobles. It's right there on the shelf. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and through any independent bookseller. And you can find Radical Prayer on Amazon, and you can order it anywhere as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.